So what can you exactly do with PLA and how would you print it? So you can use xTool F2 to engrave PLA and create things like this one, the flowers, this is a swatch, a cute kitten, party favors, sketches, even embossed look which you see over here in the fish. And these are all done on PLA. Like, you can go literally crazy with PLA and PETG and create good quality products that you can gift to anyone or maybe just use it for yourself. So we'll go through the process of swatch creation, and then from there we'll proceed to see what can you do. And so we'll try to create the sketch which you see over here. I'll show you the process, and then we would also cover the swatch and some other stuff. Today we are trying to engrave a swatch for PLA black, and this PLA matte black print was done using Bamboo Labs 3D printer, and we are using xTool F2 5-watt IR laser to engrave it. We wanted to generate a swatch, and this swatch would technically help us to go ahead and figure out what kind of color combinations do we need. So this is how a normal engraving looks like when you use IR to engrave a swatch. And you can see that the top left corner is pretty faint. It does not show much because the speed is high and the power is low, so it barely shows anything over here. But as you progress, you can see you have tones of gray, and in the bottom lines you have the tone of beige, and it gradually goes down to brown and then it burns into black. You can extract a brown, like a dark brown, from 50 and a speed of around 100. It got burned, but yeah, 50, 100, and then you can also get some things related to white exactly, or maybe gray on the top levels. So the sweet spot for this particular thing would be a balance of power as well as the speed, and I think the mid zone is a sweet spot for us, like somewhere over here. So I can consider a speed from around 50 to 80, somewhere around that. That particular triangle which ranges from 50 to 80 up till the speed of 15, 56, that's mid-level, seems to be a right spot for engraving stuff. So to conclude, I can say that if you just use IR in order to engrave PLA plastic and PLA matte, you should technically go ahead and map your colors between white to copper or maybe brown to black, and these are best for line arts, text, fine detailing, and depth engraving work. But the depth engraving part, you already see it's burnt over here, so I wouldn't recommend that. But yeah, definitely if you want some specific tones, you can do this. Now let's go on the back side. So over here what I've done is I've done color-based engraving, and this is a kind of thermal engraving. As it uses controlled heat cycle and pulsing, we get some micro textures, though it's on the back side, and I already used a textured plate in order to print this 3D swatch using PLA matte. But you can see some micro variations here and there. So on the left hand side you can see the power is low, but it's still a bit of gray. Even in the lowest part you can find some gray tones over here. And as you go ahead, you can actually map certain grays from this region. Now, as we move ahead in the region, we can see warm beige to light brown colors and slightly gold on the top. It's not exactly gold, but it's kind of brownish beige, which resembles gold. And as we move down, we have rich browns, which can be used in various areas. Like if I put it like this, you can see the color is pretty rich over here. And it resembles brown, and then it burns off in the bottom. So I think the bottom layer is not usable from speed typically around from 40 to 100, but rest seems to be usable. So let's use this existing knowledge to engrave a PETG. And as you can see that the PETG material, whenever you try to engrave it, it generally shows up as a black and white image, and the details will also be a bit more towards beige black or maybe the grayish black. So what we technically do while we render this image is select a grayscale mode, and that way we can see the darker and the brighter areas for the entire like the image as it renders. There are a few things which I noticed while doing PETG and PLA. In case of PETG, you will still be able to do dark engravings on a lighter shade, whereas in case of PLA, I do not see these dark blacks appear as they are over here. But on the other side, like the flip side, is that if you want to use a dark colored PLA, you can produce shades of beige, gold, copper, and use of white, maybe even black. But you cannot go too black because then it burns the entire thing. I generally go ahead and give highlights, which I'll be doing right now using blue laser, and that works pretty well for me. With the kind of swatch which we prepared, you can make things like these, where you can gift them to any individual and it looks really pretty, and it can be a good return gift, or maybe even cards if you feel like. You can do portraits, something like these where I have tons of flowers. You can do bookmarks, which are IR and laser engraved together, and there were also some wedding favors which we had over here.